Welcome, welcome, welcome. Oh my gosh, it's Friday again. Imagine, Friday just comes so fast. I don't know how you feel, but I find it just is like, what? It's already Friday again? So today we're in the kitchen. So welcome to our In the Kitchen. Today we are going to do a whole food gingerbread cookie. We're going to add a little bit of a cashew cream icing, and we can even make it festive and make it a red color if we want. We could do green too, or whatever color you want. I think we might try that. And yeah, let's get going. We're going to, instead of using regular all-purpose flour, we're going to use oat flour. And the beautiful thing is we can make our own oat flour with our blender. And this is one of the, so you, blenders aren't just for smoothies. They're for a lot more than smoothies. This blender is going to take and make some oat flour. You can use it to make spice mixes, soups, creams, all sorts of things. And we're going to take just under 2 cups of oats here. So this is just regular old rolled oats. And the ones that I buy, I've shown them before, are, I can't remember the name, it's some brand with, the farmer we know, it is organic, glyphosate free, which glyphosate is that pesticide they call Roundup that's on everything now, but it's glyphosate free. It also is sprouted, which means that they've taken and germinated it so we get the most nutrition out of it. So this is a great brand. And for those who are interested, you can buy this at Costco for a very good price for a big bag. And you could also, not just that, you can buy the big bag at Costco for the same price as the little bag at the other stores. And so all I did is put 1 3/4 cups of oats into my blender, my Vitamix, and I am going to blend it up. And that's going to be oat flour. And just like that, we have oat flour for our dry mix. Just perfect. You can see it does easy. You could use that, make almond flour in your Vitamix as well. So you could use it to make all, like any other kind of flour, mix things up. We were trying to buy corn flour, but we couldn't find it. So we could take cornmeal, put it in the Vitamix, and just get it to a finer texture, just like that. And so normally when we make cookies, we have wet ingredients and dry ingredients, and we put them in 2 different bowls, whip them up, and then put them together. We're going to use our food processor today for ours, save some time and energy, and we don't have to use a bunch of bowls. I like that. So I'm going to put my wet ingredients in here first, and of course, back to our wet ingredients. We have, this is about 3/4 cup of pitted dates, and this is where we're going to get 2 things: binding of our ingredients, and we're also going to get our sweetness from the dates. So we use dates rather than refined sugar to get our sweetness because it's whole food, it has the fiber in it, so it is slower to digest. It's not going to jack up your blood sugar like refined sugar does. And it's got all the beautiful nutrients in it as well. So I've got that. I'm going to add in some molasses for gingerbread. Now, molasses isn't exactly a whole food ingredient, but it's not something we use a lot. I have a fancy molasses here because that's what I had in my cupboard, and I don't really want to go out and buy something new. But if you aren't buying it, if you can get blackstrap molasses, is actually going to be more nutrient dense. But the good thing about molasses, and you can put however much you like here. 1 to 2 tablespoons, depending on how strong a gingerbread flavor you want. You can make it mild. You could even make it without the molasses if you want to go. But it does have a little bit of refined sugar, but it also has other nutrients. So it's not like refined sugar, but it does have, it is refined. And like I said, if you get blackstrap molasses, that's the better. So I got that. I'm going to add in a couple of tablespoons of almond butter. So I have my almond butter. So this is just plain almond butter. It doesn't have anything in it. And I have a tablespoon here. And I'm just going to add that in. I'm just going to make a approximation here. I already had a spoon because I didn't want to use 2 spoons here. Different one here. Put that in. Yeah. Going to add in a little bit of vanilla. So about a tablespoon of vanilla here. Getting low on my vanilla. All right. I also have a little bit of lemon juice, just a tiny bit. So that lemon juice is to balance the flavors. It helps with, we always want to balance things. And this is something that I learned when I was doing my raw food chef course about balancing. And I really didn't see the value of it until I started doing that, especially with things like salad dressings where you can want it to be more of acidic flavor, like with lemon and apple cider vinegar and things. And missing out on adding that sweet really does make it unbalanced. So we want to balance our bitter, sweet, sour, and that lemon juice will do that for this one. And I'm just going to add a couple of tablespoons of water here. This is warm water. And mix up my liquid ingredients here in my food processor. I'm going to wipe down the sides. Still a little bit of stuff on the bottom, but that's okay. I'm going to give it one more go. You can always add if you need more liquid, but I'm going to wait on that and see how it looks. All right. I think I'm pretty good. It is a paste. Let me see if I can show you. Add this here. So you can see it looks like it's a paste, and you could do a little more, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to add in my dry ingredients right into the food processor. So normally you would take the wet ingredients and put the dry ingredients mixed together in a bowl and then mix them together. This is really sticky, and so just so easy to just put all your dry ingredients in here and blend it up. And when you're working with regular all-purpose flour that has gluten in it, working it hard makes for tough cookies, but we're not using gluten, so we don't have the same concern as you would for something when you're using flour. And this saves me a couple of steps and a couple of dishes to wash up after, which I like. Okay, so I've got my flour in, and then I have some dry ingredients here. So I have a mixture of spices. I have ginger, about a tablespoon. I've got some cinnamon, about a teaspoon, and I'll give you the recipe after. Some cloves, about a quarter teaspoon, and a quarter teaspoon of nutmeg. And I've got a teaspoon of baking soda to give it a little bit of lift, leavening. I'm just going to add that in here. So this is other dry ingredients. And that's all she wrote. So yeah, let's put this here and blend it up. So I'm going to start by pulsing it. All right. And I always do this. I forgot to add the maple syrup. I knew I was missing something. I'm going to do a couple of tablespoons of maple syrup here. Ladies, I got to be kept on track. All right, that's what. I knew there was something missing. So let's add in the maple syrup. A little more liquid. That will help a lot. All right. I don't know if you can see how it's turned into a ball when there's a big ball. So I've got a ball of dough. And so what I'm going to do is check it out. So that's perfect. So it's sticky. It's definitely sticky, but most of the dough, if I take this off and I show it to you, see the dough is pretty much in one place with a little bit on the bottom. Let me move this out of the way. All right. And now I'm going to bring out my cookie sheet. I have my parchment paper. I used this to bake cookies on already. I can use it a second time. I don't want to waste it. So all you do, and I'm going to have some water here because it's sticky, is take a little bit of your dough. It's going to be sticky. And then roll it into a ball. Now you can make it as big or as small as you want for balls. I'm just going to do kind of about an inch-ish ball. And I put that on the cookie sheet. And I'm just going to do a few to show you. Won't do them all. Just roll this into a ball. Now, if it's still dry, the ingredients are still dry, you can add a little bit more liquid to it so that you've got enough liquid. And watch, I still have my blade in here. So usually what I do, and I should have done for safety, is take the blade out first. That would be a good deal. Always worried about, want to make sure we're safe with the blade. There, that's better. Now I feel better. I'm just going to take another ball, a little bit and make a ball. And this will make 10 to 12 balls, maybe depending on how big you make them. So that's a good number of cookies for our family. We just want a little bit. And then what I'm going to do when I get all my balls done, I'm just using a little bit of water on my fingers because it's sticky. I'm just going to tap it down and shape the cookie. And that's it. And when it's too sticky, I'll add a little bit more water to my fingers. I got some nice cookies there. And I could finish all the rest of these here and put this in the oven. So my oven is at 350 for about 10 to 12 minutes. And you want to bake them until the bottom is just a little bit golden brown. And that's that. And yes, could you roll that out and do cookie cutters? I haven't tried that, but you could put it, whatever shape you put it in is what it's how it's going to be. You might have to use some oat flour because it's pretty sticky, Gloria. It's not too bad, but it's sticky, so it's going to stick to your cookie cutters. So you may have to use some oat flour to be able to roll it around. But it's an interesting thing to try.
Yeah, I'll give that a try and see how it works. Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah, see how it goes. All right, into the oven with my 4 cookies. And I thought we could do a little, wipe my hands off a little bit. They got the dough on them. All right, move some of this off to the side. All right, we're gonna go back to our blender here. And I just have a little bit of the dust from the oats, which is fine. I could wash it if I want, but I'm okay. I don't think it's any cross-contamination. So we're gonna make a little cashew icing here. So I have a half a cup of cashews. I've soaked this for about 4 hours. And again, cashews are a soft nut. Soaking them will make that, so when, there's 2 reasons you soak. The first one is there is an enzyme inhibitor layer on the cashews, and it's on all nuts and seeds. It protects them, but it's like an anti-nutrient. It's tough on our digestion, and because of the enzyme inhibitors, we have a hard time absorbing the nutrients from the nuts. So it's always a good practice to soak them. Now, if you're having things like walnuts or almonds and you want them to be crunchy and have their kind of natural texture to them, you would soak them and then rinse them. That's the other dog who the other dog who never barks. I don't know if you can hear that. Okay. So you soak them and then you want to rehydrate them or dehydrate them. I put them in my dehydrator for about 12 hours, but you could put them on a towel and just air dry them. In my climate, when I did it, it took about 5 days, but then you've got all those enzyme inhibitors off. Now, the other reason why you soak them, cashews, is because when you're using them in a sauce or a cream or a dressing, you don't want them to be grainy. And so you want to soak them. So around 4 hours is good, and I've rinsed them. If you are in a pinch and you forgot to soak them, you can put them, what I'll do, because it happens, I'll put them in boiling hot water to soak while I'm getting everything ready. So about 20 minutes, and that kind of is another way. But if you can remember, soak them the old-fashioned 4-hour way. Okay, so we have our cashews. We're gonna remember to add some maple syrup. So I'm gonna add a couple of, you could do 2 to 3 tablespoons of maple syrup. I'm getting down on my maple syrup. I think I need a trip to Costco. Let me put 3. I wasn't sure if I was gonna make it, but I did. I got a little bit left over, yay. So I've got my maple syrup. I'm going to add a little bit of coconut cream. Now I have coconut milk here. This is Chaw's organic coconut milk, and it's been in the fridge. So I'm just gonna skim off a little bit of the top, which is, the cream is risen to the top. So I'm just gonna do a little bit of that, maybe a touch more for 2 tablespoons. Add that in. And then I'm just gonna add a little bit of vanilla. Again, about a half a teaspoon. So, gee, today I'm measuring everything. Woo, just a half a teaspoon. You could do a little bit more if you like the flavoring. All right. And then you can add some water to thin it out. Let me go. I used my water, so let me get some more water. I'm going to start. I have my tamper here. So this is going to be a thick, you want it to be thick, kind of like a drizzle on the top. So I've got my tamper here. You always want to use the tamper that belongs to your blender, your Vitamix, whatever you're using, because they're designed so that it doesn't hit the blades, but it helps to move everything around. So I'm going to put this on and just blend it up, and we'll see. I'm pretty sure I'm going to need my tamper. right, now I need to scrape down the sides. Half a cup of cashews. This is a small amount. And so what happens is that everything goes splaying to the side. In our house, we have so many of these spatulas, but I think everybody's been using them. So let's go. So this might take a little bit of patience to get this done. So what I would do is make it a little more. If I made used a cup and doubled the recipe, it would work a lot better for blending. So I'm keeping it at a lower speed so it doesn't, what happens is it flies off to the side and then you have to bring it back and scrape down the side. So that's why I'm using usually I go up on this speed, but I'm keeping it down so it doesn't fly off to the sides. I'm just going to add a little touch of liquid to this one here, and that will help too. Right. We're getting there. We're getting there. One more round should be good. What I'm going to do, so it's kind of it's pretty close to ready, and you could see you could add a little more, depends on your drizzle that you want. You could add a little more liquid. I might add just a touch just to make it more of a drizzle. And then you could leave it that color and just put it on your cookies. I'm going to add a little bit of beetroot powder, just a small amount, to give it like a pinky red holiday spirit, you know. But I think white icing on gingerbread is good too. So I'm just going to put a little bit, like half a teaspoon or so, and we're going to just blend that up and make it like a pinky icing. And that way you're not using all the stuff with the dyes. You're using whole food to make a beautiful icing here. Yeah. So it's kind of you see, like a pink color here. One more go, and then I'm going to give it a go with my cookies. Yum. Okay. Do that. Bring this down. I'm just going to take, I've got some cookies that I made already. You can see these are a batch of cookies. Now, so they're a little bit brown on the bottom. You can see they're a little golden brown, and they've had a chance to cool. And you bring them to the inside. They're that gingerbread texture on the inside. While they're cooling, they'll be soft and gooey, more soft and gooey. And then the texture will lighten up when they cool. So I'm just going to take and add a little bit of icing to the top. You could get fancy. Gloria's going to get fancy with her gingerbread man or whatever shapes she decides to do. Send me a picture, Gloria, when you get them done.
Okay, if they're worth showing to anyone.
If they work out, yeah.
Yeah.
And like I said, you could do white. You could do it into more of a drizzle if you'd like on them. Do your cookies. And that is a whole food version of a gingerbread cookie for us. Yum! Any questions? Now I get to try it. That was a big bite, and they're chewy. Mm-mm-mm. So you don't have to give up your cookies and treats that you enjoy to be whole food and healthy. You can make them yourself. And it's just as easy. Like, I mean, it's not that hard. You can do it in less than half an hour from start to finish. All right. Let me get the recipe for you. I'm eating alone. I wish that I could have this so that you guys could eat with me. I have a friend she said she would love to do cooking classes in person. And she has a really nice big kitchen. My kitchen is not set up to do cooking classes. Plus, I have my dogs here. So she offered we could do cooking classes here in Toronto if anybody wants to. So maybe in the new year, for anybody in Toronto, they can come and join us for cooking classes.
Where is it?
Brampton area.
Oh, too
Yeah, Toronto's
far.
pretty big.
It's far.
No, it's halfway between you and me. It's
Oh,
not that far.
well, we'll see.
All right. Anyway, I am not promising anything, but I think it would be cool. But yes, I get to eat alone. All right. That's it for today. Next week, we're going to do another dessert. I think that'll be the last one before we get to the holidays. They just kind of creep up on us really fast. And we will be doing I think it's going to be a Black Forest inspired dessert. So stay tuned for that. Thanks, everyone.